Many soldiers were forced to lie in the mud and muck for 2 days while waiting for the medics to get to them. When the sun went down, an eerie blue-green glow began to be seen in several areas of the darkened Tennessee battlefield. Strangely, the wounds of some of the stranded soldiers were emitting this glow. No one had any idea what this phenomenon might portend, but the doctors and nurses noticed that those whose wound had glowed brightly in the dark had a significantly higher survival rate than those whose wounds were not illuminated. Additionally, the wounds healed at a faster rate and more cleanly. Because of the seemingly magical properties, the coloration became known as the Angel's Glow. This is quoted from the book The Aftermath of Battle, The Burial of the Civil War Dead. Hey, I'm Alex Lam, and in this video, Stories of the World, we're going to be talking about the glowing wounds of the Battle of Shiloh, the Angel's Glow. The Battle of Shiloh was a major Civil War battle that occurred in 1862 in Hardin County, Tennessee. The battle erupted when 40,000 Confederate soldiers led by General Albert Sidney Johnston clashed with a line of Union soldiers occupying the ground near Pittsburgh Landing on the Tennessee River. The Confederates were relentless. They drove the Union soldiers from their camps and slowly surrounded, captured, killed, or wounded most of them. It was absolutely terrifying for the Union troops. However, the next day a huge number of Union reinforcements arrived and completely overwhelmed the Confederate troops, forcing them to flee. Now, after the battle took place, over 16,000 wounded soldiers laid in the rain and mud for over 2 days waiting to be treated. During the night, some of the men noticed that their open wounds began to glow in the dark, displaying a greenish blue color. Now, the men had no explanation for the strange glow, but doctors soon discovered that soldiers who had reported seeing their wounds glow had a higher chance of survival than soldiers who did not. Not only that, they also seemed to have lower rates of infection. Also, their injuries appeared to heal much faster. Now, this unexplained healing caused the soldiers to dub the phenomenon Angel's Glow. Now, the cause of the glow was considered a mystery until 139 years later, in 2001, a 17-year-old high schooler, Bill Martin, toured the Battle of Shiloh and learned of the so-called Angel's Glow. As part of a school science project, he, his mum, and a microbiologist, Phyllis, and his friend Jonathan Curtis decided to investigate. They began by identifying types of bacteria that glowed in the dark, then cross-referenced these with historical records to determine if any of those same bacteria might have been present in Shiloh in 1862. It turned out there was indeed a bioluminescent bacterium thanks to the presence of nematodes, which are parasitic worms that burrow into the blood vessels of larvae. Inside these nematodes is a bacterium called Photohabdus. Okay, I'm not going to try to pronounce that because, yeah, that's kind of hard. What the nematodes do is they find a host, then they vomit up the bacteria, and the bacteria produces a chemical that kills the host and all surrounding microorganisms. Once the host has been killed and eaten, then the nematodes will begin finding a new host. And the bacteria is what produces the green glow. The Martins and Curtis proposed that in addition to producing the glow, the bacteria was also most likely responsible for the increased survival rate. Now, the chemical produced by the bacteria while eating the microorganisms probably also consumed other bacteria or pathogens that might enter the womb, thus lessening the likelihood of deadly infection. Although the bacteria cannot normally live in an environment as warm as the human body, the trio studied the conditions of the battle and concluded that on a cool April night near swampy terrain, the nighttime temperatures by the river would have dropped low enough to cause hypothermia. Now, the cold and the wet conditions likely lowered the soldiers' body temperatures enough to be hospitable to the bacteria, which then most likely entered the open wounds through the soil, creating the Angel's Glow that helped the soldiers live through the night until they could receive medical attention. The Martins and Curtis' study of P luminescence and the cause of the angel's glow earned them first place at the 2001 Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. This is one of those amazing stories. At the right time, at the right place, and at the right conditions, magical things can happen. In our time, it would definitely be no chance of this happening. 16,000 soldiers being wounded and laying in the mud for 2 days. Impossible, right? We got hospital, ambulance, SOS helicopters, and huge hospitals to treat the wounded. Cold weather conditions. Well, we got heaters in cars, clothes that are designed to be waterproof and keep you warm. Right? We live in a time that these things just can't happen normally anymore. Here's a question. If you were one of the soldiers, or heck, even if like tonight, right? You suddenly wake up and you see one of your wounds glowing. What would you do? What would you even think? Let me know in the comments below. So that's the story of the angel's glow. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to hear more stories. Now, before you guys go, I want to let you guys know I have other channels as well. I have sort of a main channel where I upload random content. So if you guys enjoy those little bits of humor I slip in, well, definitely go check that out. I really think you'll enjoy that. And I also have a food and travel channel. And lastly, be sure to check out my last Stories of the World video. I'm Alex Lamb. Peace.